The story begins in a mysterious world thousands of kilometers below the surface of the Earth, where all sorts of dangerous creatures roamed, from the sky to the depths of the water. It is here that we see King Kong, the protector of this world, arriving at the shore of a lake with a small monkey. Kong had no idea that he was about to be caught in a trap. The little monkey suddenly realized that a deadly danger was lurking in the depths of the lake. Nevertheless, he deliberately provoked King Kong to go into the water. But his cunning did not escape Kong's eyes. He simply sniffed the air around him and immediately realized that he was about to find a big prey. Without saying a word, Kong jumped straight into the lake and began to bathe comfortably. Meanwhile, the little monkey pretended to drink water for fear of being caught. Suddenly, a strange creature began to approach them at high speed. While drinking water, Kong sensed danger. As he looked back, a huge dragon opened its wide mouth and pounced on him. Seeing this scene, the little monkey realized that his plan had succeeded and immediately ran to the shore to save himself. Meanwhile, Kong had won all the battles on land, but it was the first time for him to face such an enemy underwater. Just as Kong was trying to organize his plan, the dragon suddenly pulled him straight into the lake, but he did not realize how dangerous Kong could be when angry. The little monkey thought that he was forever saved from Kong, but in the next moment, King Kong's huge weapon landed right in front of him. Before the little monkey could realize anything, Kong threw the severed head of the dragon directly in front of him. Seeing this scene, the little monkey thought that King Kong was going to beat him severely. But Kong did nothing. Instead, he raised his axe and motioned for him to move forward. The monkey did not know that King Kong had been wandering the world alone for thousands of years, looking for someone like him.
King Kong was hungry every day and was often harassed by fierce wolves. When hundreds of wolves chased him, he would somehow jump and escape. But this time, the pack of wolves did not stop chasing him. They kept trying to surround him. Finally, when he stood in front of a deep ravine and there was no way to escape, he was forced to turn around and prepare for a fight. The wolves thought that this time the hunt would be easy, but they had no idea that King Kong had already set a trap. As soon as a wolf jumped, King Kong's trap suddenly activated and the wolf was immediately caught in it. As soon as it fell into the hole, the sharp wooden spears pierced the wolf's body. Thinking of the right opportunity, King Kong quickly picked up a heavy tree trunk and threw it into the hole. As the traps were activated one after another, large rocks began to roll down the mountain and trap the wolves trying to escape. But after the smoke cleared, it was seen that the few surviving wolves were still unwilling to let go of their prey. Angered, King Kong picked up the corpse of a wolf and, showing his strength, tore it into 2 pieces. Seeing this scene, the other wolves curled their tails in fear and ran away. Even after finding their prey, King Kong's face was sad, because the rotten tooth in his mouth was causing him great pain. Meanwhile, a lizard hiding nearby seized the opportunity and snatched a piece of meat and started running away. King Kong immediately jumped to stop it, but then a sound from afar caught his attention. Hearing the roar coming from the valley, he thought that maybe someone close to him was calling him, so he immediately ran towards it. But when he got there, he only saw a strange frog which made a noise like Kong. After years of wandering, he was still alone, and this emptiness was tearing him apart from the inside. Finally, a toothache forced him to seek help from humans. He reluctantly entered the human world. Upon reaching there, King Kong collapsed on the mountain and waited for help. Then the scientists found him. The humans administered a strong dose of anesthetic to him for safety, which caused him to faint on the spot. Then they called the most famous dentist in the city. Without a moment's delay, the dentist tied the rotten tooth tightly with a strong steel wire to pull it out. After all the preparations were completed, the spacecraft suddenly took off. King Kong's huge tooth came out with a bang. When King Kong regained consciousness, he saw that his old tooth was now been replaced by a powerful titanium tooth. With this new tooth, Kong gained immense strength, which made him feel like he could defeat anyone. But then, suddenly, an emergency signal came from King Kong's world in the laboratory, which shocked everyone. To uncover the truth behind this signal, the scientists immediately formed a rescue team and began an expedition. They, along with King Kong, jumped into the portal that led directly to Kong's world. As they moved forward, their spaceship began to descend rapidly, and in an instant they entered that mysterious world. Kong realized that his food had been stolen. He immediately picked up his axe and went straight to the top of the mountain. There, he saw a faint blue light emanating from a deep crevice, which caught his attention. He jumped into the deep without thinking to find out the truth.
As soon as he reached the pitch darkness, his axe began to glow by itself. As the light fell, he saw strange glowing stones scattered around him which responded to the light. Suddenly, a terrifying roar came from afar. Following the sound, he crossed the waterfall where he discovered a new hidden world. As he slowly moved forward, he smelled a strange smell that drew him closer. Suddenly, a huge, terrifying shadow appeared in front of him. Seeing it, King Kong immediately raised his axe and prepared for battle. As the distance between them decreased, the huge shadow also gradually became smaller, and when it appeared again, its true form was completely different. It was not a monster, but a small, harmless monkey, which even he himself was shocked to see. Seeing someone like himself for the first time in thousands of years, King Kong immediately bowed his head and put down his weapon. Then he reached out to befriend the monkey. He thought the little gorilla would be happy to see someone like him, but suddenly, the little gorilla bit King Kong hard. After working so hard to find someone like him, King Kong was not going to let him go so easily, so he ran after the monkey. But suddenly, a terrifying shadow appeared behind him, which shocked him. He had never seen such a big, bald gorilla before. As soon as Kong started to walk towards him, two gorillas with long arms suddenly came from behind and threw him to the ground. Seeing the smile on the bald man's face, it was clear that they had come to fight. So King Kong decided to kill them now. He immediately picked up a stone and threw it directly at the gorilla. The bald gorilla, bursting with anger, rushed to attack him, but King Kong outsmarted him. In an instant, he pinned them all to the ground. Even the bald king with the axe in his hand could not do anything and was completely devastated. As soon as King Kong went to pick up his weapon, a small yellow monkey suddenly ran up and tried to slap him in the face. Seeing this scene, King Kong caught him and used him as a weapon and started beating the other gorillas. Although they knew that they could not face King Kong, they still continued to attack him one by one. In the meantime, a monkey accidentally fell into the ditch, but King Kong showed his agility and quickly caught him and pulled him up. But instead of returning the favor, he picked up a knife from the ground and stabbed King Kong. Seeing this scene, King Kong became very angry and kicked him hard and threw him into a deep ditch. Seeing this scene, the bald man was scared and immediately ran back. King Kong picked up a stone that was nearby and threw it at him, which hit him hard on the head. Even after being hit, the monkey ran away, muttering something. Just then, King Kong grabbed the monkey hiding behind the tree and pulled it out and threw it hard on the ground. Then he picked up the bald man's knife from the ground and gestured for the little monkey to take it to the gorilla's lair. The poor little gorilla started walking helplessly, and King Kong followed him. The deeper they went, the more dangerous animals they saw. But in this seemingly peaceful place, there was danger lurking at every step. In order to escape, the little monkey cunningly led him to the place where the huge dragon lived. But he didn't know in the slightest that his strategy would not last long against King Kong. Suddenly, a huge dragon appeared in front of him. But instead of being scared, King Kong finished it in a few minutes and then sat down comfortably to eat. Seeing this, the little gorilla also wanted to come to him, but he did not dare to get up because of fear. Seeing King Kong's condition, he himself tore off a piece of meat and gave it to him to eat. Still, the little monkey could not believe him. Seeing this, King Kong became angry and threw the meat on the ground as if to say, "If you want to eat, eat, otherwise go to hell." The hungry gorilla immediately started eating the meat, and with each bite, his attitude began to change. He felt that King Kong was not as bad as he thought. Gradually, he gathered his courage and sat down next to King Kong, and the two began to spend time in peace. At that moment, they felt like a father spending time in peace with his child, but they had no idea that the further they went, the faster danger would come towards them. As they went deeper, King Kong finally saw some animals that looked like him, but seeing them all in a very miserable condition broke his heart. They were all forced to work all day, and their lives were nothing short of hell. In the meantime, an old monkey accidentally threw a stone, which made the gorilla angry and beat him severely. Seeing this scene, King Kong could not control himself and slammed his axe on the ground and picked up the old monkey. Just then, the guard present there angrily rushed towards King Kong and warned him not to interfere. But in the next moment, King Kong's courage gave hope to the other monkeys. But at that moment, a gorilla immediately went and told everything to the king of this place, Scar King. Hearing the gorilla's words, Scar King's anger flared up. As soon as he rose from the throne, all the monkeys in his path bowed before him. But King Kong stood there motionless. Scar King looked at him with a sharp gaze and laughed at the sight of the steel teeth in King Kong's mouth. But in the next moment, to satisfy his anger, he kicked a monkey and threw it into the lava. Seeing this scene, King Kong's anger reached its peak. To show his strength, Scar King took out his weapon from his shoulder and prepared to teach King Kong a lesson. King Kong immediately picked up his axe, and a fierce battle began between them. Taking advantage of his long weapon, he suddenly attacked, and King Kong could not hold back for a moment. Scar King used the crystal of his weapon to launch multiple attacks on Kong. Angered, Kong attacked him. He was no match for King Kong's strength, so he kept his distance and continued to attack, forcing King Kong to retreat. In the meantime, King Kong's axe fell from his hand and fell to the ground. He took this opportunity to grab King Kong's throat with his weapon and try to subdue him. Scar King thought he had won the battle, but King Kong lifted him with all his strength and threw him to the ground. King Kong knocked him down in an instant. Scar King decided to show him his true power. As soon as the stone in his weapon began to burn, the gorilla suddenly dropped the stone and blocked the flow of lava. At that moment, the eyes of the terrifying monster hiding inside the cave appeared. The hot ground suddenly turned to ice, and out of it came the huge titan Shimo, who had once covered the entire world in ice. Scar King immediately ordered him to attack Kong, but Shimo seemed unhappy with this order. As the pressure increased, he began to writhe in pain and was forced to attack. King Kong showed agility and immediately jumped up to avoid the first blow. Then he held his axe in front of him and tried to control himself, but all his efforts failed in the face of Shimo's strength. In an instant, his hand began to freeze. His right hand was seriously injured by this sudden attack, and he began to weaken. Seizing the opportunity, Scar King immediately ordered to finish him off. Just as the next attack was about to happen, the little monkey behind him pointed towards the tunnel and told him to run away immediately. At that moment, Shimo was forced to attack again. Seeing this, King Kong immediately turned around and quickly entered the tunnel.
But hundreds of ferocious monkeys were still after him. It was a good thing that Kong had set many traps in the forest, because he had lived here for years. But the number of these monkeys was so great that they quickly cornered the wounded Kong in a closed path. Now he had only this last trap left to rely on. But the monkeys trapped by the path suddenly became alert. They immediately saw the vine lying on the ground, which was supposed to activate the trap. When Kong saw that his plan had failed, he realized that his end was near. At that moment, the trap on the top of the mountain suddenly activated, and hundreds of tons of heavy rocks fell directly on them, crushing all the monkeys present there. Only then did Kong realize that the one who had activated the trap was none other than himself. Now Kong was seriously injured and in no condition to fight, so with the help of the little monkey, she set off on a journey to return to the humans. Meanwhile, the scientists who were with Kong saw that their base was completely destroyed. Then they saw a huge handprint on a rock, which made them believe that there were bigger creatures like Kong in this world. Soon they reached the depths of the jungle, where they discovered a hidden device. As soon as the girl pressed the device, streams of water began to flow from different places. The water merged into a powerful stream and began to flow deeper into the jungle. While chasing the device, the scientists came across a mysterious magical wall that hid an invisible place in the jungle. As soon as they touched the wall, it glowed with blue light. Seeing this scene, they immediately made a hole in the wall, and then a scene appeared before them that made their eyes widen. Behind the wall was a beautiful and mysterious world that no one had ever seen or heard of. As soon as the scientists entered this world, they were suddenly surrounded by tribes from that world. These people looked like humans, but their clothing was completely different from ordinary people. Without harming the scientists, they took them directly to their tribe. Upon arrival, they discovered that these people had been living underground for thousands of years, and they were guarding an entrance directly connected to the world above. The Scar King had been looking for this very place for many years, hoping to use it to take over the human world. At that moment, King Kong, smelling the scent of humans, reached the scientists, but because of the invisible wall, he could not see the world inside. So the tribe members created a crack in the magic wall, allowing Kong to easily enter and reach the humans. But they did not know that the monkey chasing him had seen everything. As soon as King Kong reached the humans, he weakened and fell to the ground. The scientists saw that Kong's hand was severely injured and he could no longer do anything. Seeing this, the doctor immediately decided that Kong's hand had to be completely replaced. He immediately brought a mechanical hand. This was the same super mechanical hand that humans had designed to make the first one even stronger. It was a good thing that this device was still safely stored in the underground mechanical warehouse under the destroyed base. Soon, the doctor rescued it and placed it directly on Kong's body, where the device automatically recognized Kong's injured body and began to establish a connection. As soon as the special medicine in his hand reached Kong's body, the unconscious Kong felt a new power. The joy on his face clearly explained that he was very happy to have this new weapon. But suddenly, a small monkey came running from the jungle. He told Kong that Scar King had found the location of the portal and was going to attack the tribe with Shimo. Kong alone would not be able to face Scar King and Shimo alone, so he had only one option left: to go to the human world and awaken Godzilla, who had been asleep for many years. But he had no idea who he was going to call for help. That Godzilla was going to prove to be his greatest threat. Suddenly, the ground around the pyramid began to shake violently, and a mechanical hand came out from below. This was the place that opened the entrance to the world. Soon, Kong came out of that entrance. Sensing Kong's arrival, Godzilla suddenly woke up and rushed straight towards him without a moment's hesitation. As soon as he reached Kong's front, he realized that Kong had come to challenge him, so without a moment's hesitation, he attacked him at full speed. The anger in his eyes clearly showed that he would not let Kong live. Seeing Godzilla as unstoppable, Kong attacked him from behind to somehow calm him down.
But as soon as the sand hit his eyes, Godzilla became even furious. He turned around and grabbed Kong's hand in his jaws and slammed it into the ground with such force that Kong was completely stunned. Before Kong could recover, Godzilla attacked him again. When words failed, Kong launched a fierce counterattack. Although Kong was the strongest with the strength of his mechanical hands, Godzilla was no less. But when Kong realized that he could not defeat Godzilla, he wasted no time and began to forcefully pull him towards the portal. Meanwhile, the tribe members mixed a special red liquid into the water to stop the Scar King. As soon as the liquid dissolved in the water, a magical transformation began. He activated a system that connected two huge pyramids. As soon as the pyramids were connected, gravity was temporarily lost, causing everyone to float in the air, making it almost impossible for Scar King to reach the portal. However, Scar King arrived before the pyramids could be fully connected. He recognized the anti-gravity system upon arrival. He immediately ordered Shimo to block the path between the pyramids with ice. Suddenly, a bright light came out of the portal and fell to the ground. The next moment, Godzilla and Kong emerged from the rubble. As soon as Godzilla saw Shimo and Scar King, he understood why Kong had brought him there. So without wasting a moment, he attacked them together with Kong. Meanwhile, Scar King also started moving towards them, taking Shimo with him. Neither side was weak. As the four of them clashed, the ice broke and the pyramids crashed into each other. The wave created by the collision destroyed all gravity, causing everyone to float in the air. Despite this, Godzilla quickly moved without gravity and headed straight for Shimo. Meanwhile, the cunning Scar picked up King Kong's axe and attacked him, but Kong blocked each attack with his mechanical hand. In an instant, the situation turned around and Kong began to defeat Scar King. However, due to the large number of enemies, he was attacked from behind. Seeing this, the little monkey picked up a rock and began to help Kong. Then, seizing the opportunity, Shimo attacked Godzilla and in an instant completely froze him in ice. But Godzilla was no less. He broke the ice with one blow. At that very moment, the anti-gravity system turned off and gravity returned. Scar freed himself from King Kong's grip and jumped straight into the portal as soon as he got the chance. Godzilla and Kong jumped after him to stop him. But in the chaos, Kong's axe was left behind. Meanwhile, people had no idea how terrible the danger was going to be. Suddenly, the waves of the sea froze and turned into mountains of ice. In the next moment, Scar King arrived on Earth with Shimo. Seeing the light of the open sky, he looked at the people below and roared loudly. Now he felt that the time had come to rule the whole world. He ordered Shimo to freeze the sky. Shimo did not want to do it. Nevertheless, he was forced to start raining ice everywhere. In a short time, even buildings began to collapse in this devastation. Just when Scar King felt that no one could stop him, Kong delivered a powerful punch and knocked Scar King's 3-ton tooth to the ground. Enraged, Scar King ordered Kong to attack, but Godzilla arrived and stopped Shimo. Scar King could not last long without Shimo's help, so he lifted a large building and threw it at Kong, but it did not cause much damage. Suddenly, Shimo came from behind and jumped on Kong's mechanical arm. Shimo started to grab Kong's arm again. Seeing this, Scar King thought his victory was certain, but he ignored the angry Godzilla standing behind him. Immediately, Godzilla unleashed all his power, his body glowing with purple light. In the next moment, he launched a powerful attack directly at Scar King, but Scar King was terrified and managed to escape. He tried to counterattack with his weapon, but Godzilla caught it and with one blow shattered the crystal controlling Shimo. Scar King jumped to pick it up, but Godzilla didn't give him any chance. Now everything depended on that crystal. Whoever could get hold of the crystal would win the battle. At that critical moment, the little monkey saw the axe Kong had thrown. He immediately jumped down, picked up the axe, and returned to the human world. As soon as he saw the crystal lying on the ground, he didn't hesitate for a moment and broke it with a single blow of his axe.
As soon as the crystal shattered, Shimo was completely free. The enraged Scar King was about to grab the little monkey and kill him, but Kong intervened, attacking him with just a few punches and knocking him unconscious. Now, without the crystal, Scar King was weakened. Meanwhile, the free Shimo stared at Godzilla as if waiting for a signal, and then, after thousands of years, he did what he had always wanted to do. In an instant, he transformed Scar King into an ice statue. In the next instant, Kong threw him into the air and slammed him to the ground with full force, his body crumbling. The battle was over, but the world had not yet recovered. Then, Godzilla looked up at the sky and released a huge amount of energy, causing the dark clouds to move away and the sunlight to slowly return to the earth. Then, Godzilla returned to his kingdom and fell into a deep sleep, and Kong returned to his world with his new companion, where he and his clan made a new beginning. From now on, they will all be together. After this, which movie story do you want to watch? Subscribe to the channel to watch new videos.